Are we even online?
I'm waiting to see how long that red.
Oh, we are. We're online, huh?
We are.
Well, hey everybody, welcome to the RetroBlasting live stream. As usual, it's the three of us with no special guests. From the left,
None of us are special at all.
From the left, you are.
I'm Melinda.
And I'm Aaron.
And I'm Michael.
And we are your hosts.
And let us know in the comments real quick if you can hear us or can't hear us, and we'll get that sorted out while everybody joins, and then we'll get started. We don't really have an agenda today, so I've kind of thrown together...
RetroBlasting is on. Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. So that being the case, wanted to address something real quick before we start. There have been some comments made since our last live stream, messages sent to me that I don't answer your questions. I can't see the questions, so we're gonna
deliberately
we're gonna do our best.
That almost seems like a weird logistical thing. We should have worked
Well,
out
it's
before we
fine.
got on
It's
camera.
fine. We're gonna do our best. We always do to answer your questions. You can ask anything you want, regardless of what we're actually talking about. Feel free to break in. But if I can't,
does that mean you want me to just interrupt you like this?
yes, that's fine.
Okay.
You can just interrupt me. That's
Good.
fine. How's
Great.
our sound doing? Are we good?
They say they can hear us.
Awesome.
Yep, there's a
Okay.
slight delay, so we'll catch up.
Okay, great. But anyway, I just wanted to start by kind of giving a little recap of Retro Toy Con as far as some recent acquisitions and some things that actually happened this morning. So first off, from the left of the table, you'll see that package of Masters of the Universe Mega Bloks characters. Those and the Captain America and Ultron figures here in front of Aaron were a generous donation from Sal. And Sal, thank you so much for sending these along with a number of other Marvel Legends figures. There were too many to even put on the table. I just wanted to make mention that normally we open the donations here on the live stream, but that box showed up damaged, and so we needed to open it immediately to make sure that everything was fine. Thankfully, everything was okay. But I wanted to acknowledge this amazing donation that Sal had sent us to the studio. So thank you so much.
Logan Michael, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, what are your thoughts on the NECA Goonies 2-pack?
The NECA Goonies 2-pack. Is that Mikey and Slot? Who's in that 2-pack? I can't remember.
No idea.
Because I know that Funko Super 7 made Reaction Goonies figures, but I'm not sure what the 2-pack is for Goonies from NECA. So let me know what those are, and I'll be happy to jog my memory and answer
Craig
that.
Dixon wants to know where we met Aaron.
Aaron, do you want to tell the story?
Well, no. No. Actually, I think it was... we all met through work, basically.
Yeah.
And
you guys met through
your
work.
And then I showed up here to help out because Michael was working on some video that needed like a Castlevania mixed with an Indiana Jones thing.
Mm-hmm.
And since I had some experience with Photoshop and After Effects and stuff like that, I cut the characters out and built that special effect. And sort of from there, I started participating more behind the scenes and just getting the effects to work.
Yeah.
And okay, I've been told off stage that I'm going long.
What?
On
No, you haven't. What?
I was looking at my watch because our very helpful behind the scenes crew sent me a picture of the Goonies 2-pack, which
that's
is
amazing.
Which is Chunk and Sloth, and I'm looking at it. See?
Yeah, it was upside down. Oh, so now it's nothing there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So yes, that's how we met Aaron. Keep going if your story's not over.
Oh no, that's pretty much it. It just sort of like kept, hey, helping out with a thing here and there, and then gradually I just sort of became more and more involved. So I wish there was like a really cool like.
We need to work
beginning,
on
middle,
that.
and
We need to
ends there.
work on that. We'll
yeah.
like come up with a better mythology.
That was a weak elevator pitch.
Someone says get Aaron a mic.
Oh, that happens every time.
He has a mic. It's actually.
He has a mic. It's right there. So we need to up his level.
I got it closer
I think
to
they're.
my
I think
my
they're.
voice.
I think they're messing with you now.
Oh, they want me to have one of the big.
They want you to have a big giant mic.
So I could croon
So
into
that's
it.
right.
Well, it used to be. it used to be that I wore the wireless mic because I was always getting up. And then
there was the bathroom incident, and so we had to.
and
make some
somehow
changes.
everything got switched around because they realized I needed to be here so that because I was getting up all the time, but that would mean that the person in the middle has to wear the lav mic. So Aaron wears the wireless mic. So
Keith Holmesley says your hair is coming in nicely, Aaron.
Thank you. I water it every day. I found that a generous application of ammonia actually goes a long way to getting things going there.
Wow.
Jonathan Murphy says the DeLorean Lego set, that one, has a typo on it. Shield is spelled wrong on the flux capacitor piece.
And you know, it's funny. I just picked this up this morning from a collector and RetroBlasting supporter, Phil, and he's local to our area. And I went over to a toy sale that he had, and he had this he had it in a glass case, and I bought this from him because I wanted to put this with my Lego TARDIS. I thought that'd be funny to have two time machines together.
Except after seeing it.
But I did not know that. Thank you for letting me know. That's cool. I'm still exploring this thing right now because most of it was already assembled when I put it together for this. So yeah, jumping ahead, I picked this up this morning from a toy seller named Phil, really nice guy. And then right here, this water moccasin, this G.I. Joe water moccasin, Matt Swafford at Reclaimers Vintage Toys surprised me with that at Retro Toy Con a few weekends ago. So I'm waiting on some rudders for the back of that to fix that up, and then that'll be done.
Thank you, CM Shazam, for the super chat. He says, "Have you seen the Star Wars Lego set that looks like crossbow and catapults? Thanks for all you guys do. You rock." You're welcome.
I've seen. Thank you so much. I've seen a few of the new Lego Star Wars sets at the store, but I haven't seen that particular one. I might not have been looking closely enough. Is it based on Rise of Skywalker or one of the classic movies? Just curious as to how they've branded that one.
No trebuchets?
Yeah.
The superior siege weapon?
That is true. Trebuchets. Did they use those all the way through the medieval period, or did they?
Oh, it was a significant advancement.
Yeah, I know it was, but I didn't know if they abandoned it at some point and just used fire.
I think we went straight from that to the nuclear bomb. I think that was the high power value that a trebuchet brings to the table.
Kind of dark.
Well, I mean, if you make it that way.
Greetings.
What?
Yeah, it's definitely me that's making that.
Empire. Oh, well, then I'm definitely going to go look for it then because as an Empire Strikes Back. Oh, no, wait. I think I have seen that now. That does ring a bell.
Oh, the things he's seen.
Yes. It's
Can't
like
even remember them all. He's seen so
it's
many.
Hoth themed, if I recall. It's Hoth themed. Yeah, I think I have seen that. I'll have to give it a closer look the next time I'm at Target.
Keith wants to know if you're going to spring for the modern Jabba's lair.
I've seen it a few times, the modern Jabba's lair. I've seen it a few times. It's about $40 or $50. Haven't picked it up only because officially there's no place to put Jabba or his throne in it. I don't recall that.
That seems unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like the opposite wall. It's like, put Jabba here, then put this big.
You Jabba in that place.
Yeah, it's like, So I'm still
Something to
still
aspire
toying with the idea of getting it, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. But it's tempting because it does look nice.
The Real Nightmare 9 says, now I need to ask, why don't you have a join button? You should have enough subs for that. I think we do have enough subs for that. It's just we haven't activated that yet.
You mean on the live stream?
No, on the YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel has the join button at the end of every video. It comes up.
No, I think it's a new
There's
feature
a UI
that's
one. There's
it's
a
like a
UX
new
join
one.
button.
Oh.
Michael doesn't read all those emails. That's
You know
my
how
fault.
YouTube is. The features unlock as you get more subscribers.
Right.
and-
I think that for
Things change
us,
colors.
we kind of are currently using Patreon as our sort of join our, if you want to join anything, that's there.
Is
Otherwise, you could just kind of watch the.
Is join just another label for subscribe? Is that
I
or
don't
is
really
join
know.
different?
I haven't done the research to figure out what the additional perks are for people who join your channel as opposed to just subscribing to it. So it's
Yeah, it's
an
like-
actual button though that says join. It's like I think YouTube is trying to combat the Patreon thing. And the problem is that there's no way YouTube is ever going to, unless they change their pay structure, because YouTube takes 45% of any money we make
Right.
of anything, and Patreon takes like something like
11%.
like 11%. So that's very, very different numbers. So YouTube is just kind of, but YouTube is changing, as we've talked about extensively, and so they may have to modify their payment tiers, or I don't know. Go ahead.
No, anyway, so I was just going to say that they were joking with me today that I should do the whole live stream about Ewoks, the Battle for Endor, which I'm willing to do if in the comments you guys want me to start talking about Ewoks, the Battle for Endor. I can.
I personally don't if I get a vote, but
I can tell you,
guys vote.
I'll learn a
Yell
whole
it
lot
out.
listening to you talk about Ewoks Battle for Endor. When
feel
I
like
saw
we
that, I
watched
was
it.
I was about the size of like a baby Yoda when I saw that.
God.
Watch your co-hosts die inside.
First of all, I just want to go on record as saying I have
Oh.
seen the opening episode of Mandalorian.
Let's talk the entire episode about Mandalorian. What
I
do you say?
like the opening episode just fine. I don't have any problems with the show other than his carbonite factory in his ship. As far as why I'm not watching more of it, it's because I refuse to own Disney Plus. So that's the only reason I'm not watching it at this stage. But
Yeah, and I feel like we should avoid any deep discussion of the plot, just because
Right.
there are
Well, we
still a
don't-
lot of
we
people
don't
on
really
the
know.
fence
right.
with,
Right.
well, at least the first episode, because I think a lot of people are kind of figuring out if they're going to get Disney Plus or not. I mean, I'm sure that's sort of shaken out a lot already, but there's still people who are kind of planning for it. So
Right.
I just wanted to be careful not to like,
No, yeah, absolutely.
I don't
other
like
than
it.
the big one that I just threw out there as a joke.
It's fine.
I just don't like it at all. So, I mean, that's why, I think we should just talk about it and just in general terms, and then everyone can hate me for not
No,
liking
No,
it.
I don't think you're in danger of that.
No.
But I'll just say, like, if anybody was thinking about, like, sending any kind of Baby Yoda stuff here, just don't.
Oh Lord, you have just opened up the Pandora.
I hate Baby Yoda.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm going on record.
Wow.
I freaking hate Baby Yoda. Like, hate it.
I feel like we need like a metal music intro anytime you're going to give us a hot take, or it's just like, and then Melinda does her hot take.
No. I honestly, and I'm really happy because I don't want Disney Plus either. So the fact that that's the reason why I don't have to watch the episodes, because I watched that first episode too, and you saw it, I got so mad at the end. Just yelling at the TV. Anyway.
It was actually quite comical.
And
see
yet
the whole thing
somehow, I've been the one labeled negative on this channel. I
No,
can't
it's
imagine.
me. It's all me. Like, that's what's so funny is that, like, people always go, Michael, you're so negative. And it's like, he's pretty, he's pretty not.
So what I'm hearing is Melinda is like Emperor Palpatine,
I
just
kind
sitting
of
behind
am
the scenes
filled
like,
with hate. Just filled with it. Michael, are you familiar with the Star Wars Despecialized editions? And if so, what do you think? I think you just did a video talking a lot about that. Here he goes off the camera.
Michael's on a journey right now, everybody. In the meantime, we're brought to you by our sponsors, nobody. That would be you guys.
Melinda, did you see Rambo Last Blood? The digital release has more scenes than the theatrical. I haven't seen it yet. I'm assuming that I might get it for Christmas.
Oh, this is that awkward time of the year where you don't want to get things for yourself.
That's right. So, yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I just prefer to watch movies at home because the theater
I'm just going to get you
experience
the
lacks.
4K Baby Yoda experience, where it's
Shut
just
up.
8 hours of Baby
did
Yoda.
that person say that the digital version has the lost scenes in it that we were talking about that were...
It says it has more scenes than the theatrical release. I don't know if it's all.
Well,
the
then
lost
that makes me
scenes.
wonder if the 4K release will have those scenes as well, or if only the digital streaming release will have those scenes. That does make me wonder. Okay, to answer your question about the Harmy Despecialized edition. So, these are my copies of Harmy's Despecialized edition. I like watching things, on disc and not through streaming or hooking a computer up to my TV because I don't know how to do that. So I've had these discs created. They're very nice.
Very well packaged.
Yes, Harmy's stuff is a simulation, which is not a bad thing. He's very, very good at what he does. I know he's working on it again, and that's the other problem with the Harmy stuff is that you're always chasing the latest version of each movie. I really have loved the latest effort by Team -1, which are the 4K restorations of actual theatrical prints. So far, they've done Star Wars and Return of the Jedi. These are what I prefer. We're waiting on them to finish Empire Strikes Back as well, but these are my preferred way to watch the original trilogy right now. So if I was to watch these, I would watch Star Wars and Jedi on 4K Team -1, and I'd watch Empire through Harmy. So that would be my preference.
Aren't you in one of these?
I'm in Addy One's Revisited,
Addy One's
which is a
Revisited.
great version if you like the special edition.
Or even if you don't like the special edition, but it's
But
Yeah.
you do like Michael.
like I
It's-
hate it, but I really like what Addy One
Yeah,
did.
Addy
It's really
One's-
impressive.
Addy
The
One's-
color correcting and some of the stuff he fixes is actually really helpful.
Yeah, if you wanted the special edition to be great and you were like a lot of
Yeah.
us and found out you felt like it wasn't great, he makes the special edition great. That's
Yeah,
how he does it.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, see, I don't hate everything. Okay, Fox Mulder says, no question, just glad to see another stream. Hi, Fox. Thanks so much for the super chat.
Truth is out there.
Wow, 2 super chats right in a row. The first one is that brown rat. Or no, I'm sorry. Bad eyes, you guys. That brown bat.
Oh, okay.
Am I supposed to know what that means?
Maybe it's Man Bat from the animated series of Batman.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
It says, a while back I remember you mentioned a Rankin Bass retrospective. Did I miss it?
No, we haven't done a Rankin Bass retrospective yet. You haven't missed anything. I don't remember if we were going to do that as a live stream or as a fully produced video.
No, but I mean, we did do a Dragon Con presentation.
And on the
About that.
Dreamland podcast, have you guys dropped the latest podcast yet?
Yes.
Yeah, the 50/50.
Yeah,
where
we did.
Yeah.
You talked about well, that's
That's
Don
not Rankin
Bluth.
Bass,
That's not
that's
Rankin
Don
Bass.
Bluth.
Don Bluth. Okay, we talked about Secret of Nim.
And then
But then we saw a Rankin Bass person at Dragon Con this last
did.
year. We went to a panel, and forgive me, I don't remember his name. But he had a lot of amazing insights and kind of behind-the-scenes stuff, just talking about the holiday specials that they did, the claymation pieces.
yeah, that was a really good talk. He was the historian for Rankin Bass and does a lot of the books
Right.
that have been published.
And
so
had personal relationships with members of the family and people who
Yeah.
are currently involved.
lots of great access to a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
JD 1989, thank you very much for the super chat. Michael, I recently purchased the TN1 4K cuts of New Hope and Return of the Jedi on your recommendation. I have to say it's fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, good, great, yeah. And just to give you guys some insight into that, there are 2 versions of the 4K projects for Star Wars and Jedi, and I assume there will be for Empire as well. Just so there's no confusion, they're both by Team -1. One is the no digital noise reduction or no DNR version, and the other one is DNR, digital noise reduction. Now, I chose the DNR version because even though DNR gets a bad rap in the home video industry, because sometimes if you
It's over-applied.
if
Like,
you
they crank it.
over-apply it, it looks bad. But the guys at Team -1 are very, very, they use a light touch when it comes to their restoration to make it look authentic. Their DNR version is awesome, and it takes away some of the grindhouse quality that could be left in the print. So highly recommend their DNR version if you like that. If you just want the raw print experience, you can go with the no DNR version.
Okay, Salvador, thank you very much for this very generous super chat. Time to contribute further to the Toy Fund. These live streams make work a lot better, and keep up the awesome work. Can't wait for the next Discord. Hope everyone gets exactly what they wanted for the holidays.
Oh yeah, I should probably.
What is this next Discord he
Hang on a
mentions?
second, you guys. We got 2
Okay.
more big super chats.
Okay,
that I
okay,
want to
okay.
acknowledge. JSS, 10 pounds. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Thank you.
He didn't have a question. He just put the money. So
Wow, thank you so
very
much.
Nice. And then Scott says, "I'm getting pretty annoyed at studios releasing the digital stuff weeks ahead of the physical discs,
Yeah.
and even including extra stuff. I know they're trying to stop making discs, but it's like my money's not green or something."
Right. Yeah, I totally agree, Scott. And I don't even like it when they say, hey, you can get the streaming version with the extras. It's like, I don't like fast forwarding all the way to the end of the stream to watch the extras that you've just put in a big list. I like a menu where I can kind of move around and look at things. I completely agree. Also, you know, you have a bad internet night and suddenly that digital version's buffering and getting, crunchy. And I like having a disc that I can just watch. And the only thing stopping me from watching it is if I have a power outage. So absolutely. Yeah. Now I'm going back to What was I saying?
We were
Sal-
talking about the Discord.
Oh, yeah. So, Sal, I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to be announcing this on the Patreon as well, but for anyone who's curious, on Patreon, the top tier patrons, there'll be a Discord chat every other Saturday. So that's a live chat where it's not just a chat window, but it's everybody being able to talk, and I'm there, and
It's a conference call.
yeah, it's like a big conference call, but it's not but it's not boring.
There's minutes,
We're
you
going to
know.
talk about strategic planning. And
So
Forecasting.
the
Project management.
that's right.
the schedule for that is going to be
Who
Uh,
dropped the
schedules.
ball?
so yeah.
You know, that
Who
kind
got
of
thrown
thing.
under the bus?
Yeah.
The schedule, Sal, is going to be every other Saturday will be the Discord. So this coming Saturday will be a Discord chat on Patreon. Then the Saturday after that will be a live stream here. Then a Discord. Then a live stream. Discord live stream. Discord live
So
stream.
it's like a big quadruple stacked Oreo cookie.
It's
Yeah.
like a state of RetroBlasting sort of get together with the people who participate at that
Right.
level.
The
Right.
Vintage Toy Kid says Melinda and Michael are my favorite YouTubers. Aaron is all right too.
Wow.
No, this is good. This just means I've got room to grow.
Yeah.
There's room for improvement. I can.
Well, just
I got a few things I can work on. You know.
okay. Look, I want to say this because
Don't.
no, it's fine. It's nothing negative to anybody.
And I thought
So-
it was funny how his voice cracked right when he said that.
When we were getting into the Red Letter Media channel a few years ago, and at first it was just Mike and Jay.
This is
all
so
right?
awkward.
It's not awkward. This is good. This is good
To get really, really awkward.
wisdom.
Today on a special episode.
All right, you know what?
of-
Fine. I won't
No,
say
I
it.
like it. Go ahead.
All right. They started bringing in other people as they did more best of the worsts and as they did, all this kind of stuff, right? And at first you're like, well, I don't know so much about that dude with the beard and who's the bald guy with the glasses and this guy named Rich. And eventually I found out that my favorite personality on Red Letter Media wasn't Mike or Jay, it was Jack. And I really like Jack, that is his name, right? It's Jack, right? Yeah. Jack
your
is
favorite?
Jack is my favorite. So at a certain point, I'm sure, a year from now, there will be somebody in the comments that will say, Mike and Melinda, love you guys. Aaron's my favorite. And I'm going to go, I totally get that. So I know it's awkward, but that's what we do here at RetroBlasting. We make it awkward.
Make it awkward. Tunnel Rat wants to know where you get those versions of Star Wars from. And a lot of people do, and I think the whole thing is
Yeah.
they don't want to make it too easy to
beyond
know the
internet,
answer.
Right.
Maybe a little closer into the spot where you found. it.
Yeah, the instructions for getting the Team -1 versions are on their website, which I can't remember the handle for it right now. It's not secret or anything. If you Google Team -1, it will come up, and then they tell you how you can go about finding this online through like a file, like a torrent or a news group, something like that.
I do have a question for you
Yeah.
because everybody knows, finding and getting video online, whether if it's not from a service that you've paid for, is a little iffy and questionable. So it's hard to make recommendations on. I've often wondered how Team -1 is able to continue to work and distribute. Clearly, they're not getting shut down.
Right.
I'm just not sure
Yeah.
what the story is there.
Well, one of the things that they do, which is it's odd because Harmy, for example, now has a YouTube channel and he's revealed who he is, and he actually works in the film industry, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
He's from like Eastern Europe, but he works in the film industry out there, I guess. But he's revealed himself. Whereas Team -1 is a whole group of people.
There's something kind of Banksy about all this.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. They're a whole group of people who are all working together. Digital editors working with print collectors to coordinate these restorations behind the scenes, and then they leak the file out onto the internet. No harm, no foul. But they say at the front of every copy, they say when you find the file. And Harmy's the same way. He doesn't sell anything. You download the file off the internet through a torrent, and then you're able to burn it to any disk of your choice. Team -1 says at the beginning, and so does Harmy, these are orphaned works of entertainment. In other words, they've been abandoned in these versions by the studios.
Okay.
But still, for the purposes of legality, you need to own a physical copy of Star Wars Empire and Jedi from the home studio in order to have these as a backup.
Well, and most fans own multiple copies
Yeah,
of each of those,
right.
just because of all the different
A fan
editions.
that's going to be getting this would probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Stolen wants to know, hey Michael, what's that He-Man set on the left? So this one over here.
Yeah, it's Sal donated that to us. Thank you, Sal. Again, this is a Mega Constructs, I believe, set.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a it's almost like a competitor within the Lego space. And this is a figure set that they made to go with some Lego Masters of the Universe themed settings and vehicles that they made. So they look great.
Will you be watching the new? Michael wants to know. Will you be watching the new Star Wars film?
When it
Well, you didn't watch the last one, so.
Yeah, a lot of
See.
well, the thing about being a fan of something is you have to be excited about it. And when you find yourself not excited about something, so for example, I know that there are a lot of channels out there right now that they express their passion through frustration with those movies. But I know that my audience has always been an audience of not just vintage lovers and collectibles lovers, but they're also a mix of people, because I don't really talk about movies all that much, unless I'm doing like the Dick Tracy toy line, and then I'll talk about Dick Tracy. But as far as the movies go, like, admittedly, I'm not that excited about this last installment because I didn't like the first installment in the series. So I'm probably not going to go because I just don't want to spend my time watching that movie. I welcome anybody telling me how it goes. But I guess my point in saying that is you can't spoil this movie for me, because if you spoil it, I won't care. So send me all the messages you want about it after you've seen it. I don't care. Yeah, you have to get passionate about something to be a fan of it. So like right now, I'm probably a bigger fan in this moment for Doctor Who than I am for Star Wars, because I'm more interested in getting those DVD sets and looking at that and researching that and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
The
but
vintage toy get out. You told me to break in, so
Yeah.
he says, "Where is Aaron this week, and why is Roman Reigns co-hosting this week's episode?" So Aaron looked that up to see who the heck that is, and that's pretty funny.
It was quite funny.
Let's see. This says Rich Evans is a national treasure. Yes, he is, Mike McFly. Aaron is RetroBlasting's Rich Evans.
Oh my gosh, it's like a thing now.
Michael, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Masters of the Universe cartoon series Kevin Smith is developing for Netflix?
I would like you to answer this question as the Kevin Smith sort of, you follow his career a little more closely.
Yeah,
than
I
do.
haven't. I used to listen to his podcast religiously. I mean, it was, those of us who listen to podcasts, we go through phases. I don't know if you're like me, but you find a new show and you listen to it like all the time, and then it's like you don't listen to them for weeks and weeks.
Except for Dreamland, in which case you always listen to those right when they come out.
Yeah, I listen to them sometimes 2 or 3 times before it even comes out. Like, I'm just stuck on those. But yeah, I've always appreciated Kevin Smith's sort of understanding and take on these things, but I feel like in the last maybe 5 or 6 years, he's really gotten very commercialized. Like, he's gotten appearances on shows that don't seem related to his original work, or maybe are more related than we think. Like, there's probably more Kevin Smith there than we've seen, although how is that possible after a decade of oversharing on podcasts?
Right.
So the way that I understand how he's approaching it is that he is very dedicated to making it feel like this just started where the other one stopped. So I think it really boils down to, does he accomplish that? Right? So leading up to it, it's sort of like everything else. I heard they were making a Galaxy Quest TV series the other day, and I was like, why are we doing this? So I kind of look at everything that comes out now with, why are you doing this to something? We love what it was. I'm not really convinced anybody could ever make that again. So we'll see if he's able to pull that off, or if Shecky keeps barking and he keeps yelling at the dog. So
P.O. Box address. Where do we want to post the address if people want to send us something? Or do they just have to contact us and then we send it to them via private message?
I mean, I can say it right here in the live stream. I don't mind.
Yeah, they're going to want to have, like, we need to have some place where people can
Sure.
always go look it up. But
we'll
you
make
can
sure.
say it if you want.
Yeah, I'll say it right now, and then we'll figure out a way to put that somewhere permanently. We'll put it in the description of this live stream as well. But it's RetroBlasting, P.O. Box 2385. That's right, 85 2385.
Wow.
Woodstock, like Snoopy and Woodstock, Georgia 30188.
operators are standing by for your call.
No CODs.
Jody, thank you for changing your name from JS to Jody to stop confusing me. I need all the help that I can get.
And you lost
And I
it.
totally lost where I was on the thing. Technology is hard. It's
Jody, actually, I need to show off something that Jody sent.
And Michael's off.
What are your thoughts on the female Doctor Who figure? Do you feel products for figures are less because she is a female? What does that mean?
What?
Less? Like
Who's asking that?
Efren Guzman.
Oh,
Do you-
well, all right, hold on.
Do you feel like it says? Do you feel products for figures are less?
I wonder if he's asking like if they
meaning
cost
they
less,
cost
if
less,
they
or are
charge
there
less.
fewer?
No,
being
they're
produced?
fewer. So here's the Jodie Whittaker figure for Doctor Who from Character Options.
And you and I have talked about this. Her aesthetic for the show is insanely good.
Yeah, absolutely. I've
Yeah,
been told
love it.
that Character Options is going to be bringing out her companions in a multi-pack at some point. But Doctor Who in general, as an example, the merchandising has dropped significantly and now only comes out through B&M. It's a anchor store in the UK, or a large big box store. Now, that's just overall. They're not still producing more other Doctor Who stuff than her, although right now the proportions are off because her show just came out. Everybody else is already in motion merchandise-wise. When it comes to Star Wars, for example, with a female lead, Rey, we've talked about this a lot on the live stream. Hasbro is in a tough spot because they've made some bad decisions with their distribution, their manufacturing volumes, and they're also caught in a situation where Disney has not been art designing things that are interesting to make into toys. So that could also be a perception being thrown off of, oh, look, they're making less new trilogy stuff because it's a girl. And it's like, well, actually they're making less new trilogy stuff because they're physically making fewer toys. And also Disney's not designing anything that's really exciting. Like the first big vehicle I've seen recently was at Best Buy, and it was an ATST Walker, and the branding on it said The Mandalorian. It didn't even say Rise of Skywalker. So if there's more interesting stuff in the Mandalorian show than there is in this new trilogy, that would explain why you've seen fewer toys, from these newer movies.
Night of Ren says it was so awesome seeing Michael and Pixel Dan's latest toy hunting video.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was interesting. It was
Sounded like you guys had a really good time.
it wasn't bad. Dan is he's 4 years younger than me, so his interests lie more in the latter half of the 80s, like with Food Fighters and Ninja Turtles and Barnyard Commandos and all that kind of stuff. And
So are you two just like tugging each other in different directions?
a little,
walking
no, I
around?
mean, not terribly. It was more like, oh wow, look at these, and I'm like, yeah, I remember the commercials for those. I was still a kid, but I loved the Space 1999 stuff. And then I'd show him that. It was like one shelf up, or it was cool. It was neat. And there was this one kid. He didn't make it into the footage, but we were in the shop where I bought the Bucky O'Hare vehicles, and there was this kid that walked up, and he saw both of us, and he said, wow, this is a crossover I never imagined I would see. Because
It was a very ambitious crossover.
yeah, it was, YouTubers, we all live in different parts of the world. These are going to be hard to see, but Jody sent me these custom Starcom drones from the toy line Starcom. And they've been made by, I assume, a fan. They've even got the magnets in their feet. And they're so you can army build the bad guys for your Starcom.
Those look pretty great.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
They've got these little peg holes in the back. I'm guessing those are either screws
It's
or
for backpacks.
backpacks.
Yep.
Okay.
The little guys right there have all their little backpacks. They go in with these dual pegs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff.
Let's see. Clearly, Hasbro needs to make a 1-to-1 scale Boba Fett rocket launching backpack, complete with armed warhead.
Arms warhead.
That's Lio Convoy saying that.
Drop it.
And Impossible Pie says Disney should have gotten Jon Favreau, or Favreau, or however you say his name,
Favreau.
to direct the new 3 Star Wars movies, or at least write them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fans would love to see Favreau have a hand in that.
Yeah.
Someone I think made a joke, or maybe not a joke, about Peter Jackson being
Well,
involved
that's
in
what
having.
Imperial Mort says. Peter Jackson should get a Star Wars trilogy with enough time to do it up. I think that would be pretty interesting. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm just burned out on Star Wars.
I would just love to see what Weta Workshops would do with weapons and other props from Star Wars, because they put so much thought into the backstory of every blade and every item that was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know how old everybody is. Like, so.
How old we
like
are?
What year we were born?
Well,
Or do we say our age or our year of birth? Like, what's more?
I'm always skeptical of you guys fishing.
I know.
I'll give you the answer
I'll
my
give you-
mom gave me, which is pretty near 100.
I'll tell you how old I am, but I'm not telling you my birth year. I was born in 43. I mean, I was born. I look great for my age.
she's one of the original Andrews sisters, and she's
I am.
still doing shows around the country.
No,
We're 6 jerks
I
and a cheat.
am 43. I am 43. So yes. And he's not.
I am over 40.
Way.
No. I am barely over
He's
40.
barely over 40.
But I am over 40. Yes.
And I'm pretty much the same age as Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. 40
Ish. Esque.
Gosh, it kind of just
40-esque.
took the momentum right.
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah. It's all downhill from here, folks.
Start planning your retirement, everyone. Diversify your portfolios.
Said I'm dyeing my hair gray for
If you
the
join
next
in on our
episode.
conference call next Saturday, you'll learn more about our strategic plan.
Yeah. We're diversifying right now. We're in the middle of diversifying pretty heavily. Michael.
I think it's good to like just really invest in gold. I think
Yeah, and seeds.
yeah.
Seeds. Anyway, moving on.
They did say a few years ago that retired. Enjoying that chair?
Yeah,
It's gotta,
it's going pretty good.
They said retired Lego sets actually appreciate in value proportionally faster than gold does.
That's an interesting statistic.
Yeah,
That
I don't
sounds
know.
like a
and they're
data
both
is
bricks,
beautiful.
so it's kind of interesting. Maybe we should start making Lego out of gold.
I just
So-
feel like what is the not Darkwing Duck, but the ones with the 3 ducks, the DuckTales.
Yeah.
DuckTales, the uncle who has the big vault.
Scrooge.
Uncle
Scrooge
Duckman.
McDuck.
Uncle McScrooge McDuckman.
Scrooge
Cloud,
McDuck.
and just dive into a big pool full of Lego.
I think that would have the same effect as trying to dive into a pile of coins. It would actually destroy you.
Don't destroy my
Have
child.
you heard that the Snake Eyes solo movie is actually filming and will be released in October 2020, starring Henry Golding? Who's that?
Goldberg?
Golding?
It says Golding, but I don't know if that's. I don't know who that is.
That is a question I would like to pose to everybody watching. Please comment on which movie you're more excited for out of these two films, Rise of Skywalker or Snake Eyes. Please vote now. Honestly, that's not a joke. I would love to see how many people go one way or the other. And if you want to, really make things interesting, we'll add Jumanji in there too.
I know what my answer is then. Is The Rock in all of them?
No, The
I
Rock.
would love The Rock to be in The Rise of Skywalker.
I would too. I would love him to be the missing Skywalker. That would save Star Wars for
He
me.
just shows up and smolders.
He would just be like,
He's doing it again. Ray's like,
amazing.
stop.
People are yelling it out, so let's see.
What do we got?
Snake
We
Eyes won.
I think Snake Eyes is looking pretty good.
no time tonight. We got some James Bond coming in here. Pretty hot and
Snake
heavy.
Eyes, Golding is from Crazy Rich Asians. Oh, okay. Neither.
I'd rather watch
Snake
paint
Eyes,
dry.
No Time to Die. Neither. I'd rather watch paint dry. Rise.
Snake Eyes, I
Snake
guess.
Eyes, Rise of Skywalker. Snake Eyes.
Shipwreck
Neither.
Eyes.
I got a lot of neithers.
Yeah. I am kind of chuffed about the new James Bond trailer.
Oh, No
Does it
Time to
look-
Die.
Does
Yeah.
it look good?
Yeah, it looks pretty fun.
Oh, did we get a
Isn't it called Ain't Nobody Got Time for That?
Pretty much. I
Did-
think
did we get a
that
super
was
chat?
one of the
I
options.
think we just got a super chat.
I think Jody threw
It's
something.
Jody. He just
Oh,
gave us
Jody,
money
thank you for the
nothing.
super chat.
We get your money for nothing and your chicks for free.
Wow. That do not associate me
I'm
with
calling
that
Aaron a
quote.
hoe. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Look, trolls suck. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just reading that right off the thing.
Okay.
Weekend at Bernie's 3.
Good thing I got thick skin.
A movie to be named later.
A movie to be named later. The Untitled Goose movie.
Chuckles the movie. Petition Disney to remake Black Hole and recreate the Vincent versus Maximilian duel.
Oh, leave Black Hole alone.
I know, right?
The one thing that Disney needs to do with Black Hole, though, is restore it, because the new Blu-ray that they came out with as part of their sort of Columbia House service, or
I
whatever
would
it
like
is.
to see that because
Yeah.
it's streaming on Disney Plus.
Is
I
it
want, them
4K
to, I
or
want them
is
to
it
have the commercials like the Columbia House used to have, though. That's what I.
is it
I can't
4K
tell.
on Disney Plus?
Disney Plus, and maybe somebody out there knows a lot about this. Disney Plus seems to do a lot of post-processing before it's shipped to your house to watch it. So literally anything you watch on Disney Plus is clear. It's buttery. It's like 120 frames per second. No matter what, like Lady and the Tramp, everything is like perfectly smooth motion. So it's really hard to tell what I would like to see the 4K transfer and then compare that to what we're getting
Right.
on Disney Plus to see if maybe they withheld a higher
Right.
quality version or if they
Right.
did something after that disc was made.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm fine watching it in scratchy old low def the way I did when I was a
Right.
kid, but you know, having a nice 24 frames per second clean
Yeah.
version of it would be
Are
pretty
they
cool.
24 frames per second, or is it in that super advanced?
Well,
That's what he's
and I
saying.
think we discovered this when we watched The Mandalorian. You can go into your TV and turn off all high frame rate stuff if you want to.
It just comes like
So
automatically.
even if you get something at 120 frames per second, you drop it to 24, it's 24 frames per second.
Right.
So there's
Yeah.
kind of a way around that.
Lio Convoy, thank you for the super chat. He says, do you guys plan to do any videos to celebrate both Transformers and Ninja Turtles 35th anniversary?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this year, but we just had a vote on the Patreon about upcoming videos, features like that are cartoon and toy part 1 and 2s, the things RetroBlasting is known for. And I was trying to get the patrons to weigh in on which ones they'd like to see. And the top votes so far include the Inhumanoids, Bionic 6, and Thundercats. But Transformers wasn't too far behind. I'm hopeful that I'm ready to do Transformers as a 2-part feature again, like a revisit, bigger and better. And I'm hoping I can do that early next year as well. So
Black
Black
Hole
Hole
2
2.
Electric Boogaloo.
the thing about the Blu-ray for Black Hole is that it was clear that it was not at all restored or remastered. It was just a scanned print.
Yeah.
And so the Digital Bits guys were saying it was really disappointing. They're like, it's better than it's ever looked, but that's not saying much. So
And
I don't
maybe
know.
I'm not asking for much from a streaming service. So
Well, maybe the streaming service did a 4K of it.
I'd have to go to like the info setting on the TV
Right.
and see what it's getting.
Right.
Scott, thank you for the super chat very much. Scott asks, even with the adorable robots, Black Hole is a shockingly dark movie for the mouse to release in the 70s.
Yeah.
The image of Maximilius with the spinning hand blades going towards people like haunted me as a child. Like I would literally wake up and hear like
I have no memory of that other than Mops.
And
No,
I
I'm thinking
love-
Fantasia. I don't even know if I've ever seen the Black.
there were no mops in
Isn't it the same kind of crap though, with like weird, trippy animation stuff going on?
No, it's a
No.
live action movie.
Then I literally have never seen
It's
it.
got Ernest Borgnine in it, I think, or is it?
that's a trip.
It's
by
Maximilian Schell and
I don't
a
know
number
who
of
that
people.
is.
the way. Yeah, you got your
Yeah.
guy, bad guy in it.
Anthony
Yeah.
Perkins?
Anthony Perkins.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, they're trying to put Benedict Cumberbatch in it. I thought we hit peak Benedict.
I mean, maybe. Someone says, Action Figure Expert has asked us like 5 times, so I'm just going to ask it. I think it's one of those weird questions, and it makes me... Whenever I see these weird questions, I wonder, am I being like set up or punked or something? But I'm going to ask it. What do you guys think of the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
I haven't eaten one in like a decade.
I'll
be straight with you.
I've only eaten at Popeye's Chicken one time during a business trip because the person we were interviewing at the company I worked for wanted to go there for lunch. I've heard all about the hubbub, haven't had the sandwich. So
We are known for eating things sometimes, so that's fair.
I will
Fair
never
game.
eat that.
No, not at
Bio
all.
Convoy says, I'm going to be doing my own video covering these Ninja Turtles, the new Ninja Turtles cartoon. While it really is a good show, it's an unfortunate example of 2D designs not translating well to toys. The toys are not good. Michael?
What?
He's sticking things to microphone booms.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying Lio Convoy doesn't like the new Ninja Turtles toys.
Well, yeah, they look like garbage. I mean, the artwork was bad, and so the toys themselves don't look good because the artwork they're based on is bad. Yeah, I think I did a picture of one on Instagram or something a few months back that I saw in a store, and it was like a fever dream. It was just terrible.
Wow.
That's a question for Dreamland there at the bottom from 1R.
Aaron and Melinda, since you've done an episode on Rocco's Modern Life, will you two ever talk about Rugrats?
That is a fascinating cartoon. I don't know if we'll ever make a whole podcast about
You know,
Rugrats.
Aaron, if you want to pitch that, go ahead.
Oh, that means I've got to go back to the drawing board. Come up. This will be maybe something on the next business call that we do, where we talk about
No, I'm just
upcoming
saying,
things.
if you want to do that, we can do that.
I am fascinated, and I think that came through on the 50/50 with that era of Nickelodeon, what they tried to do with all of their cartoons and how some of them were really dark and some of them were totes inappropriate.
They were diversifying their portfolio.
They were, very much so. And Rugrats did have this weird sort of aesthetic to it. So it is interesting. I'd have to dig around in there and see if there's something to really discover and talk about for 30 minutes or 45 minutes.
Does that mean I'd have to watch an episode of it?
Now, the other thing we brought up that would be interesting to do is Pete and Pete, which is kind of
Now, that
not a
one I would be
cartoon.
all about. The thing about Rugrats, I've actually seen episodes of it, but it's one of those cartoons that's got, like, I don't like cutesy things. I don't know if you guys have picked up on this.
I mean, unless it's a little Yoda.
Things that have, like, a baby voice, like, I hated Baby Groot, too. Like, I just think it's really pandery, and, like, unless it's Rugrats wasn't pandery, it was just, like, a little kid's cartoon, like, clearly for little kids. And even as a kid, I didn't like cartoons that I could tell were made really, like, childlike. It's like the difference between watching Thundar and watching Muppet Babies. So it's just...
Rugrats had some weird angles they came at some of that
sure
stuff
they
with.
did, but they still kind of had these little kid voices that really made me want to stab myself in the face.
No, we will not be
Jesus.
doing a Rugrats episode.
I find
No, if you want to do it, let's go.
Let's do it. Let's
go.
roll. Let's throw
Come
down.
on, bring it, bro.
She's going to stab herself in the face.
Gumby, anyone? What? What happened?
Michael.
Michael's got bored? Is that...
No, I'm not bored. Not bored at all. No, please. Everything's good.
Salute your shorts. Another really strange Nickelodeon show.
What's on your shirt, Aaron?
Well, my dear friends, this is the Deathly Hallows.
Because you
Harry
love the Deathly
Potter.
Hallows.
Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry. This is a wonderful gift for my children, so I want to represent.
This says we should do an episode on Ren and Stimpy, and
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to veto that one. There's some,
there's some really unfortunate stuff
That would be a very
I
special-
would 100% talk about
yeah,
the whole time.
which is fine, but it would be a very special episode of the Dreamland podcast that would have a support number at the end of it.
Especially
true.
given what's come out about the creator.
That's what I'm
That's
talking
what
about.
I'm referring
That's
to.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, he's super problematic.
It's super problematic. Okay.
That show was on when I lived in England, and I never saw it. It was at the height of its popularity when in the early 90s, and I wasn't in this country. And so I got back, and everybody was talking about, oh, remember Ren and Stimpy? And I'm like, no. They're like, it was great. And then finally it came on reruns on cable at one point. Like it was, and I all I remember is a severe close up of
Yes.
Stimpy's ear mites.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just super detailed.
Yeah.
That was really fast. It was something kind of like Mad Magazine
Yeah.
about those
yeah.
close-ups.
It was.
And that theme of humor continues throughout the show. So while it was originally aimed at children, there were lots of things that were totally MTV level, probably shouldn't have been
Right.
on Nickelodeon kind of shows, which led to them creating Nicktoons, like their
Right.
own studio, so they could veto crazy people like the guy who created that show and kind of keep shows on the rails a little better.
Vinkman says, Melinda doesn't like cutesy things unless it's a chonky cat. That's true. Jody clarifies that I hate giggling things, and you nailed it. I do hate giggling
You
things.
are on record with
I
hating giggly
I don't
things.
like kind of high-pitched voices. I just... Lio Convoy says...
You're just telling them how to troll you.
Don't
you know
care.
That, right? Okay.
Bring it. Bring it on. Lio Convoy's review says, you want to cover a top-tier Nicktoon, Hey Arnold. You mentioned that, I think, during our podcast.
I did, and that actually fell to the cutting room floor because we went
Oh, did it?
super long on that.
okay.
And because it occurred to me mid-sentence while I was talking about Hey Arnold that I kind of wanted to talk more about Hey Arnold than I had time in
Oh,
that
I see.
spot.
So you trim that out later.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's weird. Like Hey Arnold had this weird haunting quality about it. Like the show wasn't afraid to say, "Hey, by the way, kids, life is kind of sad and it kind of sucks sometimes, and here's how these kids are coping with it."
Yeah.
And the show had a weird place in my life for
I
that.
would watch
I was
Hey Arnold.
older when that came out, but I still found myself just kind of
Yeah.
because it was like inner city schools and things weren't great and nobody was rich and it was just kind of felt a little real.
This says, if you're doing Nickelodeon cartoons, do Danger Mouse. Hey, if we're doing weird cartoons, I'm going to put, like, The Tick needs to be in there.
Yeah.
Freakazoid needs to be in there. Da 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 da. Freakazoid, Freakazoid. He's here to save the nation. So stay tuned to the station. There he goes in Barney's car. Freakazoid. Okay.
Nice. She's got this weird knack for just remembering the words to every song she's heard.
Where are we for time?
All right, Michael, what do you want to
Michael,
talk about?
let's
buddy?
talk about something Michael wants to talk about.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, while you guys are talking, I'm going to start clearing the table to get ready for the...
Michael,
Yeah.
somebody's asking about Bionic 6. Let's bring that up.
Yeah, let's talk about Bionic 6.
I've
Michael,
already
go.
said that the Bionic 6 has been voted on in Patreon as one of the top choices for features in January, February. So it's going to
What
become...
Michael is saying is he's definitely going to do a Bionic 6 video.
Right.
Like,
So-
he's
When are
been
you gonna do that,
saying for
Michael?
like 4 or 5 years.
I'm going to clear the table now.
All right.
All right, Keith, this goes out to you. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's as sweet as a dove. For the first time in my life, I see I need love. I'm not singing the rest of that.
It sounds like it was headed somewhere.
There I was, giggling about the games that I had played with many hearts, and I ain't saying no names.
She really does remember every
And the
word.
thought
And here
occurred,
comes the
drops
YouTube
me my
copyright
iceberg.
police.
'Cause I said
No.
to myself, look what you've done to her. I can feel it inside. I can't explain how it feels. All I know is that I never dish another ordeals. Playing make-believe, pretending that I'm true. Okay, we're done.
Wow. It's like Cartman over here.
Ryan, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, contribute to the anti-shipwreck fund. Yo, Joe.
People don't like Shipwreck.
Man, there's a lot of people talking about shipwreck all
Talking
of a sudden.
trash.
Talking trash.
Look,
talking
Shipwreck
trash.
is horrible, and I agree with Ryan.
How you going to feel when he shows up at your house?
Awkward.
Yeah.
Real
Whoa.
awkward.
Whoa, buddy. Hey. Calm down, Shipwreck.
Let's see. David Tennant, the best doctor. I personally would say Tom Baker is probably
about to
the
say-
best doctor, but then David Tennant's like right there. Like to me, the two of them are like.
Yeah, if
I know
you're
those are, like,
saying
the common
hands
ones.
down best doctor David Tennant, you're definitely going to run into some people who really love some of the older shows.
Yeah, yeah.
But splitting it, modern versus old, it's weird. I know this is going to make me unpopular. I kind of liked Matt Smith, which I didn't think I would because I love David Tennant, and then Matt Smith started doing his thing, and I was like, he's pretty great. Okay, I'll see myself out.
I mean, by
I want to defend what Aaron said in one respect, which is 11th Hour, Matt Smith's debut episode, is one of the best episodes of Who in the modern era. Like, as a single episode, it is one of the best episodes that I've ever seen. And it was really compelling. And it made me so excited because I was so worried that David Tennant's leaving was going to make me lose interest in the show. And then that first episode happened, and both Melinda and myself were like, wow, that was pretty good. But then after that, the writers kept letting Matt Smith down. And so, yeah, it just,
I was primed to hate whatever came next.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah.
I mean, it was still burning in my heart seeing David Tennant going, I don't want to go.
Right.
Like,
right.
it was just like, don't take him away.
No, I think that he needed to leave. I don't have any.
She was like, get out.
No, I really love David Tennant. Like, I
Yeah.
really loved him, but I'm not going to continue to be the hater on the panel, but
It's fine.
I tried so hard to like Matt Smith. Like, I gave it, how many episodes, babe, did I watch?
I mean, you tried hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter.
I know.
Linkin
I
Park.
tried
I know, I got it. Linkin Park.
I can sing that whole song,
One
too.
thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try.
Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to
Play
explain
to due time. All I know. Time is a valuable thing.
Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings.
Tim's
Watch
just standing around the corner like,
I don't even know what's happening here at this point. I
We
just,
did it all just to watch
you
go.
go. Watch you go.
I'm going to open the first donation box. How about that?
I mean, do what you want, man. It's
I
fine.
mean, if you like Matt Smith, that's great. He just wasn't my cup of tea.
Everybody's
That's
saying Freebird.
it's just the worst song.
Yeah, it's just the worst.
All right, so this says, hi guys, I hope this arrives okay. Please don't mind the messy writing, LOL. It's way better than it was. Unfortunately, my right hand is jittery and my left hand is numb to writing.
Then you did great.
Yeah, these two ships are custom. Oh, he's about to give away what it is. This looks like a G.I. Joe Warthog that's been customized. Well, I'll just bring it forward.
Just whip it out.
Put some of this here.
Is that thing in like space age packing material?
Yeah, kinda.
It's pretty impressive.
Okay.
This guy says today's show is really McClunky.
Oh my god.
Oh, that
was harsh.
That's harsh.
That was
Man.
super harsh.
Yeah, gotta work on it.
Disney?
Oh boy.
All right, let's see here. Oh wow, intact.
Look at me, I'm just like totally OCDing these parts as you take them out.
Aaron, do you remember the Ren and Stimpy episode that they refused to air?
I remember them off and on.
There was like supposedly an episode that they didn't.
There's probably more than one.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was. They went some really weird places.
So this
Okay.
is a G.I. Joe Warthog that has been converted to be a sand crawler. There is a Jawa in the driver's seat.
Yeah, for when the Jawas mean business.
Jawa is my co-pilot.
Good luck getting in here, Mandalorian.
Come on.
It's like a monkey's paw trap.
Yeah.
You have to let go to get your hand out.
Come on. Come on.
People keep saying Tim Curry is the best, and I agree he is the best, but I'm just not sure what we're talking about.
He's just the best. That's what they mean. Tim Curry's the best.
He is the best.
He's the best around. Nothing's going to ever keep him down.
Nothing's ever gonna keep me down.
Fight till you drop.
Wow. Usually it's me
Sweep
doing
the
all the
leg.
singing.
There's a lot of G.I. Joe stuff inside.
Accoutrement.
It's kind of like, I don't want
This
to.
says Bruce Campbell is the best. I don't
The best
know.
Doctor Who.
Are
I
you
like the idea of like Bruce Campbell movies being in somehow in the Doctor Who universe, like Army of
I can
Darkness or
see
something.
that. I mean, I don't know. It was weird for me to watch the transition from horror into comedy.
Yeah.
Slapsticky kind of comedy, which is not really my thing.
So were you like an Evil Dead 1 fan
Yes.
big time? Okay.
I liked Evil Dead 2, but when Army of Darkness came out, it kind of just jumped the shark for me.
It
I
totally
know a lot
did.
of people liked it, but
Well, and I liked Evil Dead 2 because of how it represented the way that he had to fight the studio just to even get some of the stuff from his Evil Dead
It
1
was
days.
meta on
Like he
top
didn't
of
even
meta.
have access to it, so he had to reshoot it, and he just did it as another movie, so he could have that to work with for future movies.
So we should talk about Evil Dead.
That
Put on the list.
actually, yeah. If you guys are hearing that for the first time, maybe we should break
yeah.
all that out for a show.
It says Tim Curry was a doctor in Rocky Horror. Well, yes, he was Dr. Frankenfurter.
That's not a Doctor Who.
You know,
That's a doctor
have you
name.
ever seen Superman 4?
Yes.
So you know the guy, we talked about this at lunch, but you know the guy who was like the bad guy in the little shorts
Yeah.
in Superman 4? He looks like Rocky. And every time he comes on the screen when we
You
watch
want to
that
throw
movie,
mac
I
and
go,
cheese at him?
Oh, Rocky. Now you guys can do that too. Merry Christmas.
You're welcome.
Superman 4 is the new Christmas movie is what I'm always saying.
No, you've never said that.
Hey, guess what?
Hmm.
I've been watching a lot of really bad Christmas movies.
Any favorites so far?
Yeah, the worst one I've seen is called The Night Before Christmas. Is what it's called.
Okay,
Like
what was that about?
Knight.
Oh,
So,
no.
in
No,
case
I'm out.
You don't know this. You know,
That's a terrible pun.
There was Hallmark, and then there was like Lifetime movies, and now there are Netflix Christmas movies.
It's like Netflix is trying to take that Hallmark
Yeah, they're having their
prize.
own thing, and so they've made a whole bunch of. Are you done? Are you ready? Well, I was
I'm ready for the next box. I was just letting you guys finish your thought.
Oh no, I was just filling time.
Our thoughts never end, Michael. We're just vamping.
All right, this one comes from John Ray.
Oh my gosh, you weren't kidding. They are ready for war.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in there.
Holy cow.
So you're not okay. So I'm gonna keep talking about Christmas movies. So
No,
anyway,
hold on. I got a
this is
letter
about
here.
A knight from back in the day, like way back in the past, who gets brought into modern times and yet somehow can figure out how to drive a car. It's really spectacular, and if you want,
It's called knowledge transfer. Like he just took what he already understood about automobiles.
he also
from...
spoke modern American English, which
That's impressive.
I find is not what would happen.
Hello, Michael and RetroBlasting. Here are a couple of items my son Joe and I wanted to give you from our collection in hopes of filling a few holes we saw in the studio tour video, one of our favorite videos. We hope they will be useful additions to your collection, and it will be cool to know that we're a part of making the community a bit better. So, whoa, he's donated to me his childhood Star Wars troop transport.
What?
Oh my gosh. Hold on. So he sent us a USS Flag.
Oh, wow, that's
Cat.
cool. That's really cool.
That is awesome. I will be wearing that.
Let's make room for the other.
He sent us, oh my gosh, this is literally a complete New Hope troop transport.
That is too cool.
And he sent us a courtesy C battery to go with it.
That's
I
classy
like
right
how it's
there.
like wrapped separately.
That is
sold
classy.
separately.
Batteries sold included.
And then, holy cow, babe, you ready for this?
Yes.
Yes.
He sent you one of the missing figures from Clash of the Titans.
Oh, sweet.
The
Yeah.
Charon,
This
River Styx guy, Charon, and then he sent two carded Gabriel
Charo.
Zorro figures, Captain Ramon and Sergeant Gonzalez. These are not easy to find. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Scott, by the way, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, way off topic, but with cats, are you able to decorate for Christmas? Mine won't allow anything to go undestroyed. Did we actually
Did you
have-
tell him about your new discovery?
What is my...
The Christmas cat?
Oh, yeah. In Iceland, apparently, there is a myth, like a Christmas myth about a giant cat. That you go look it up. It's really cool. I can't remember what it's called.
It's dark.
In Icelandic, but you know,
Very
it's
dark.
pretty awesome. But yeah, we have a Christmas tree. Our cats are old enough. Saxon didn't, you know, when we still had Saxon around, he was more kitteny, and so he would kind of get into things. But our other cats are a lot older, and they just kind of don't.
They're kind of like
They get
whatever.
under the tree and just kind of lay there, so they don't really bother anything. Superman 4. How on earth did they get Gene Hackman to do that movie?
Was a favor to Christopher Reeve, actually. Christopher Reeve.
That's about what it would
Christopher
take.
Reeve, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to work with Christopher again, and so he was happy to do that with Christopher.
I have a feeling I would do a favor for Christopher Reeve. He
Well,
seemed like such a stand-up
also,
guy.
all of the actors
Was not
have
a joke. It's
all of
terrible.
the actors have been lied to about the budget for that movie.
Yeah.
So they thought they were working on a more prestigious film, and then they found out they'd been rooked.
Does the troop transport audio still work?
He says that it does, provided, let's see.
We've got the battery over here.
He says it works. Just put in the provided battery, and you are good to go.
I'll let you
Charon,
do
not
that.
Charon. Okay.
Chiron.
Okay, whatever.
Well,
This dude.
yeah, that dude.
Skeletor, is what I'm gonna call him. His new names is Bones McGee.
Okay, Disney.
Wait, well, I just saw. I've had this question several times. So, have you listened to the '80s rock song Raj Rani or something like? No, I've never heard of that. So, I guess I have to go look that up. Let's see.
Thanks, God Tank.
What?
Said sweet Deathly Hallows shirt.
Oh yeah. Melinda, have you ever seen Santa Claus the movie with Dudley Moore?
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
it seems like I have. But I
Wow,
do
what
like a
is
good
that
Dudley
stuff?
Moore movie. Jeez Louise, what's going on over there?
I never know what to
Sorry.
do when he's got stuff to open because every time I turn around, there's like completely random
Bubo
awesome
toy,
stuff.
Bubo.
This is from
A
our.
toy
This is
Bubo. What?
if you've ever
Bubo from
wondered.
Clash of the Titans.
Oh, okay.
If you've ever wondered
Thought
who
it was
does our artwork at the beginning of every video, it's a very talented artist named Dave Song. And Dave sent us some
Like a
prints that I
Wow.
guess he made up. Yeah, this is some
Pinky in the brain.
artwork that he's done. I mean, these are,
they'll end up on your side.
and
I
then
don't
like,
want to bend them.
look at this.
No, I'm with you.
Can I hide
Pinky
behind
in the
it?
brain.
You can, I guess,
There's a
start
ton
making
of
a stack
these.
because there's a bunch that are going to come across, I think.
So there's too many. There's too many to show, but
Oh, and they look like there's
Flip
more
to
than
the
one.
center of
Yeah.
The deck.
Lots of Pinky in the Brain.
lots of Pinky in the Brain, Zelda, Metroid.
Here, I'll get this back to him.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Here's the
I don't want to mess it up.
here's the Metroid one. Pretty neat.
Afuna says, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, sorry. Says, what are you playing on Switch? Well, right now, I kind of just finished The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I gotta say, I was kind of bummed that, like, once you defeat Ganon, you can't just, like, play open world and just not have...
You can.
But
You just go back to
you
your
go
save
back to
before.
I don't like that.
But then you keep playing and just don't fight Ganon.
I don't
It's sort of in a weird way keeps the story intact because the whole premise behind the game, a lot of the mechanics in it only work because there's some evil in the land causing these,
Yeah,
like
no.
when the blood moon comes out and
I
things
hate
like
the
that.
Blood Moon.
Right. So you would like it so like you could live, they could play in a peaceful world where things
Yeah.
just grow and people are happy and there's no conflict.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So I need a different game.
Animal Crossing is coming out in a couple of months.
I feel like you're giving me shit.
No, Animal Crossing is a wonderful game. I can't wait till that game comes out.
Mackie says, I don't like Pinky nor the brain.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Pinky?
That's hilarious. Loved beating Ganon. Yeah, well, I mean,
How was that fight? Because I don't think I've ever seen that fight.
it's kind of frustrating because it's not super clear what you're supposed to do. I don't know. I'm not good at video.
So in other words, your favorite thing about that game was the open world, running around, collecting
exactly what I
Korok seeds and all that other kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've been told by our
producer.
operations guy, our producer Tim, that we are over time. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream. We had seriously considered making this about Ewoks: The Battle for Endor, and I was about to commit to it, but then they said no. So next,
I'd have to go back and rewatch it. I was literally...
all right,
teeny
well then
tiny
that's
when
what
I
we'll
saw
do.
it.
So we're committing to the next live stream is going to be about Ewoks: The Battle for Endor.
We're not committing.
we're not
We're
doing
we
that.
could call it audible.
Okay, fine. Then it'll be about Star Wars: The Holiday Special.
Sure.
That'll be great. So
Because we're
thought
close
we were-
to the holidays.
I thought we were doing something about the holidays.
we are. I'm doing a Star Wars Follies.
Well,
so.
I think that maybe we should like find a way to figure out what we're gonna do and then prep for it.
Okay, then that's what we'll do.
We'll study for
That's
it.
not like us.
I know.
It's like me for sure.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool guys. Well, thanks for being here on this live stream. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will catch you on the next one. I'm working on a few new videos between now and then, so you'll see those drop soon, including Robotech Part 3. So watch for that. But I can't thank you guys enough for being here this Saturday. We enjoy it. We hope you still enjoy it, and we'll talk to you later. I'm gonna sort all this out now.
No idea.
They're gonna do whatever they do.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
Thanks for coming over.